Hi there, today I'd like to show you how to crochet the leaf hopper cluster stitch in the round, which looks something like this. This is just a water bottle holder that I made. And I'm going to explain sort of the repeat that goes with this. First of all, in order to work the leaf hopper cluster stitch in the round, you will need to work a multiple of 4 stitches. I have 32 right here. And the idea is that once you are ready to start working the leaf hopper cluster stitch, you'll need to work a round of double crochet stitches. Then you can work the leaf hopper cluster stitches, a round of those, I should say. And then you'll go back to working a round of just double crochet stitches. And then the next round will once again be a round using the leaf hopper cluster stitch. So double crochet round, leaf hopper cluster stitch round, double crochet round, leaf hopper cluster stitch round. That's a mouthful. Okay, so I want to point out too that this orange stitch marker, you can ignore that. That's just marking my slip stitch. Sometimes I like to do that. And right now I am ready to start working the leaf hopper cluster stitch. And to do that, I must have a round of double crochet stitches. So I'm going to chain 2. And I don't like to count that as the first double crochet. So that means I'm going to have to work a double crochet into this first stitch. And we're just going to, oops, get that. We're going to work double crochets all the way around. And then when we're done, we're just going to join to the first stitch. And I'm going to go ahead and finish this around here, and I will meet you back here and show you how to start the round where we will do the leaf hopper cluster stitches. Okay, so I've finished working my double crochet stitches all the way around, and I am ready to finish this by joining to my first double crochet. And I am going to put my slip stitch marker back in place here. Okay, so now we're ready to start working the leaf hopper cluster stitch round, and there are double crochet stitches worked in this round as well. But we're going to start this round with 3 double crochets, and then we can work our first leaf hopper cluster stitch. I'm probably gonna mess that up at some point, right? Saying that. Okay, so we need to make 3 double crochets. So I'm gonna chain 2. Again, I'm not counting that as my first stitch. I'm gonna place my first double crochet. Okay, now my second double crochet. And then my third double crochet. Oops. Okay, I gotta do that one again. This is my third double crochet stitch, and the leaf hopper cluster stitch has 2 legs. Right now we're going to start working the first leg of our leaf hopper cluster stitch. And to do that, we want to make sure that we work around the post of the stitch that is directly below the double crochet that was just worked, and that's this third one that we just worked. So double crochet just worked, follow that down to the stitch right below it, and we're gonna work our first leg around this post. And to do that, we're gonna yarn over, insert our hook around this post that's right below the double crochet that we just made, and we're gonna yarn over and pull up a loop, and we wanna pull it up a little taller so that it's in line with the height of our current round. Okay, and then we're going to do that again. So we're going to yarn over, insert our hook around the same post here, yarn over and draw up a loop, making sure that we match the height with the height of our current round. And there should be 5 loops on your hook. So let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so we have that. And then we're going to yarn over and pull through 4 of those loops. And that leaves us with 2 on our hook right now. Okay, we're going to skip this next stitch here. The reason why we skip that is because this leaf hopper cluster stitch, when we are finished making it, this stitch will take the place of this stitch right here so that our stitch count won't be off. Hopefully that made sense. So we're going to skip this one. Then we're going to do the same thing over here on this next stitch. We're going to work the second leg of our leaf hopper cluster stitch. Yarn over, insert our hook around this post here, yarn over again, pulling up a loop, and then do it again. Yarn over, insert our hook around the same post, yarn over, drop a loop, and then we have 6 loops on our hook here, okay? And then we're going to yarn over and pull through 4 of the loops. If I can get my hook not to catch, that is. Then we have 3 loops left on our hook, and to finish off this first leaf hopper cluster stitch, we are going to yarn over and pull through the remaining 3 loops on our hook, okay? Now to continue with this round, we need to work another 3 double crochets. So we're going to do 3 double crochets, leaf hopper cluster stitch, 3 double crochets, leaf hopper cluster stitch, so on and so forth. And the first one, we are actually going to place right behind this second leg of our cluster stitch here. So the first double crochet of the 3 double crochet group that we're going to make is going to go in the same stitch that the second leg is around. I hope that made sense. Okay, so first double crochet is going to be in the same stitch directly behind the second leg of our leaf hopper cluster stitch. So this is the first double crochet. Then we work a second double crochet, then a third double crochet. Now that we've worked 3, we are back to the leaf hopper cluster stitch. And if we remember, we are going to work the first leg around the post of the stitch that's directly below the double crochet we just worked. So yarn over, insert hook around this post here, yarn over again and drop a loop. Then we're going to do that again around the same post. Okay, and then we have 5 loops on our hook, yarn over, draw through 4 of them, and then we have 2 loops on our hook. Again, we're going to skip the next stitch and then work our second leg of our cluster stitch around this next stitch here. So yarn over, insert hook around the post, yarn over and drop a loop. Do that again. Okay. And then we have the 6 loops. Yarn over and draw through 4 loops on our hook. You'll have 3 left, and then you're just going to finish by yarning over and pulling through the 3 loops that are left. Okay, so that's our second cluster stitch. And then I'm just going to remind you again, you've got to work 3 double crochets again. The first one has to go in the stitch that is directly behind the second leg of your cluster stitch. So hopefully you can see that. Here's the post that we worked around. Our second leg is worked around this post, and that means we do the first double crochet, then the second, and the third. So go ahead and work this round until you have 1 stitch left, and then I'll show you how to finish it. Okay, so we've worked our way around and we've stopped where we have 1 stitch remaining. And where we left off is the 3 double crochet stitches, and now we just need to work the final leaf hopper cluster stitch. So we're just going to do what we always do. We're going to work the first leg around the post that is directly below the double crochet that we just worked. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Okay, we're going to skip this last stitch of the round, and then we're going to place the second leg of the cluster stitch around the first stitch over here, this first stitch of the round below us. So I have to skip my chain 2 because I'm not counting that, and then I'm going to place my second leg around this first double crochet of that round. So I'm going to go ahead and put my second leg there. And then finish by pulling through the last 3 loops on my hook. And then what you'll do is you'll finish by joining to the first double crochet of the round. And a good way to check your work too is that there should always be a double crochet stitch in between the leafhopper cluster stitches. Just one double crochet between, as you can see. So here's this cluster stitch, double crochet, cluster stitch, double crochet, cluster stitch. Okay, so just go ahead and join, and then I'll show you what to do next. Okay, so we have finished and joined our last round. And so, like I mentioned at the beginning of this tutorial, in between each leafhopper cluster stitch round needs to be a round of double crochet. So this part's really simple. I'm just gonna double crochet all the way around, and I'm gonna join when I'm finished, and then I will show you how to start the next leafhopper cluster round. It's not the same. It's going to be a little bit different. We're not going to work quite as many double crochets at the beginning as we did this first leafhopper cluster stitch round. So it'll be important to pay attention to the slight difference in that next round of leafhopper cluster stitches. So go ahead and work this around and then join, and I will show you how to start the next round of leafhopper cluster stitches. Okay, so here's my double crochet round. I'm going to go ahead and finish that. Yeah, I'm going to put my marker back here. All right, so now the next leafhopper cluster stitch round. We don't work quite as many double crochets at the beginning of this one so that we can off-center them. The rounds of leafhopper cluster stitches, we want them to be offset from each other so it looks a little better, in my opinion anyway. So for this one, we're going to work just one double crochet, and then we're going to work the leafhopper cluster stitch. Okay, so here's my one double crochet, and now I'm going to do a leafhopper cluster stitch, making sure that I put the first leg around the stitch directly below the double crochet just worked, which happens to just be one double crochet for this round. So I'm going to go ahead and work that first leg. Okay, and then again I'm going to skip the next stitch and then work the second leg around the next stitch. Oops, I can't get my, there we go. Okay, then it's the same from here basically. You're gonna do the 3 double crochets, making sure the first double crochet is directly behind the second leg of the leafhopper cluster stitch. So there's the first one, there's the second double crochet, there's the third one. Okay, so then you're going to repeat the leafhopper cluster stitch, the 3 double crochets, leafhopper cluster stitch, 3 double crochets all the way around until you have 3 stitches remaining at the end. I will show you how to finish that off when we get there. Okay, so here we are. We have worked this round up until we had 3 stitches remaining. So where we left is we have the 3 double crochets and then 3 stitches that we haven't worked. Now what we'll do is work the last leafhopper cluster stitch. So we're going to go ahead and do the first leg here. Okay, we're going to skip the next stitch like we always do. We're going to work the second leg around the next post. Okay, and then we need to finish by working 2 final double crochet stitches. So making sure we put the first one behind the second leg of the leafhopper cluster stitch. and then we're going to work the second double crochet, and that completes the round. And it's still, if you look at this still ends up being 3 double crochets, leafhopper cluster stitch, because the part of the 3 includes that first double crochet that we worked here is part of this 3 here. These 2 we just finished with, and this one make up that 3. So then you will just slip stitch to the first double crochet of the round to get this finished. And that is the leafhopper cluster stitch in the round. So I've written this out for you too. I thought that might be helpful. So hopefully you can see this. Okay, so you'll need to have a multiple of 4 in the round. Then you'll work, once you're got it to the size that you want and you're ready to start doing the leafhopper cluster stitch, you'll need to have a round of double crochets. Then the next round, you'll start using the leafhopper cluster stitch. And I do chain 2 here. That doesn't count as a stitch for me, so I've written it out as the chain 2 and then 3 double crochets. Then you'll begin the leafhopper cluster stitch, which I have shown you how to do that. And then you'll double crochet in the stitch directly behind the second leg of the leafhopper cluster stitch. Then 2 more double crochets, so there's a total of 3 double crochets here. Then you're going to repeat from star to star until 1 stitch remains. Then you'll work 1 last leafhopper cluster stitch, and I showed you that the second leg on that one goes over to the very first stitch of the round below it. So hopefully you remember that one. Then you have to do a double crochet round next, and then you do a leafhopper cluster stitch round. This time you're going to chain 2, and then you'll work 1 double crochet, and then you'll do the leafhopper cluster stitch. Again, double crocheting 3 double crochets all together, but the first one goes directly behind the second leg of the leafhopper cluster stitch. And then you'll do this repeat from star to star until you have 3 stitches remaining for this round. Then you do the final leafhopper cluster stitch, and then you'll end with 2 double crochets total. The first one needs to go behind the second leg of the leafhopper cluster stitch. So here's the repeat. You'll have the double crochet rounds between each leafhopper cluster stitch rounds, and then each of them, the leafhopper cluster stitch rounds start a little differently. One with more double crochets, the other with fewer, with just the 1 here. So I hope that was all very helpful to you.